Hey everybody, and welcome to the finals here for this European mini tournament in Mechabellum. Dokson versus Joda. We've seen both of these players earlier today. Joda, though, with a Rhino specialist, aggressive play. Will we see more of that aggressive play here today in the finals? They do not go for the Rhino. They instead go for cost control. Arclights, Stormcallers, and Crawlers versus a supply specialist with Crawlers and Stormcallers. So not going to go super aggressive. You kind of can't with Stormcallers. Reserved positioning from the Crawlers in that tower position. Stormcallers to deal with the opposing Crawlers. And we've got Crawlers and Callers on both sides. This is like a pre-patch game. And yep, I think we're going to end up with the same composition on both sides. The Trinity. You've got the spam units of fast-moving melee Crawlers. You've got the anti-Crawlers, anti-chaff of the Arclights. And you've got the long-range artillery Stormcallers. Who's got the better positioning? Well, there's three. There's more Arclights on the right. So that, in theory, should take out the Crawlers. But Arclights are pretty slow. And Stormcallers can destroy them on the approach. Alright. Crawlers meeting in the middle. The side with the most Arclights probably wins that. Stormcallers get briefly distracted by the Crawler battle. There's one Arclight remaining. It goes down to the Stormcallers, and now we've got that old-fashioned Stormcaller duel. There's more on the right. There we go. So right side wins. That was the cost control. They get 100 extra supply per round, but their units are weaker. Didn't look like it. Heavy Mustangs, extended range sledgehammers on the left. So that might be a clue as to how they hope to deal with the Arclights. They'll put some beefy sledgehammers out front. They tank the damage, and that gives the Arclights and Stormcallers time to do their business. And put them out there on the flanks. Right side goes Mustangs and puts those on the flanks. That gives you a little bit of flank protection. If somebody tries to put some cheeky Crawlers in your flanks, they can transition into anti-air. They're not going to do so well versus sledgehammers, though. Yeah, both Mustangs and Arclights have a tough time punching through sledgehammers. But looks like it's going to be another win for Joda. All right, round 3. Dokson gotta find a way to answer that. Intelligent Arclight. Enhancement module can make leveling up free. Goes for that electromagnetic impact. Disables tech and slows you down. I mean, in theory, your Arclight should be good versus the Mustangs as well. You could put a few more of those out there. I'm going for that sledgehammer wall. Getting it out there early. potentially getting experience and leveling it up can make them so much more worth it. Here's the electromagnetic impact. Slow the arc light, slow the crawlers. It'll slow the storm crawlers, but they generally like to stay in the back and shoot anyway, so they don't want to move. Got some frontline crawlers here. Potentially to bait out these storm crawlers. Sentry knocks out the arc light. Oh boy, that is not what you want against storm crawlers. You don't want all of your units in this tiny area. What's the splash on this? 5.5. I think that's about the same as a sledgehammer, isn't it? 5. Looking good for left. Yeah, that, those crawlers in the center did a big, were a big deal there for distracting all of the stuff in the back, forcing it to funnel through to the middle. Just makes the Stormcaller's job so much easier. There it is. Blue with their first win in round 3. Round 4. Top supply, an investment in the future. And senior manufacturing specialists are going to make recruiting giant units cheaper. Well, here is that giant unit. It's a fortress. Big, beefy, walking tank, lots of health. Really powerful single point damage, can help you punch through these sledgehammers. Can eventually be upgraded with a barrier to give you a walking shield. Is slow though. Another unit that's susceptible to these Stormcallers. Will we start seeing missile interceptors anytime soon? Got a sentry to take this out, so hopefully you don't get that funnel. All right. Fortress taking their first shots. Does destroy an arc light. Keep track of everything it does. It's getting some experience. Does ultimately go down. Do we have missile interceptor? No, I think most players have moved away from that since the turrets can do it. Tower goes down on the left side. Mustangs aren't super great at dealing with sledgehammers, but there is some support from the Stormcallers. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough. How much damage can they do on the approach? Decent amount. Do they take each other out? That'd be fun. I think these were leveled up, so they lived a little bit longer. Dachshund takes the smallest amount of health damage. Round 5. Missile Device Specialist for the left side. So their sentry missiles do 200% damage. And they go ahead and put a sentry immediately. Put 2. You invested in them. Mechanical Rage for the sledgehammers. They're moving faster. They're shooting more often. Level 3s as well. 6,854 health per model. Yep, so it's going to take more than one fortress shot to take out a sledge now. At least those bottom orange ones. Lightning getting dropped. Any unit hit by lightning will take 2,000 damage and slow down. Increase range for the Mustangs. another one.
Another one.
Do we see Joda going for? No. Not gonna take that thing out. We do have the barriers up. All right. Let's take out the shield, the barrier on this one fortress, but I don't see a lot of health damage yet. Lightning storm. Seems like it did a lot to these sledgehammers. Yeah, I mean, now that you know that your opponent has missile device specialist and stormcallers, it might be time to intercept those missiles. Looking good for the fortresses. Would you want armor piercing? Looking good for Joda. Great things for your fortresses. Amp core on the left. Going melting point with enhanced range. You can see how far it reaches right there. Did go nano repair kit. So super heavy armor. Nope. Enhancement module on this fortress. So leveling it up is free. Nano repair on this top one. Mass recruitment on the right side. And the mobility enhancement. So everything's moving faster. And it sure is a lot of Mustangs. They're coming in pretty late. They do move fast. Melting point. Does find that fortress and knocks it out. But here come the Mustangs. Another fortress down to the melting point. Ooh, and it's looking good for the left side. Nice comeback there. From the brink. Finds the counter for the fortress and knocks him out. Now, if you are the fortress player, how do you counter that? You need chaff in front of the melting point. I wondered if Fang summoning would do it. It doesn't happen very often. I think that does go armor piercing on those Mustangs. Maybe that helps chew through things faster. Barrage on the melting point, so they're going to slow and they're going to shut down your tech. Still a lot of supplies to spend. Leveling up these melting points, doubling their health and their attack power. Putting some sentries down. Wipe out these early fangs and crawlers. Shielding up. All right. Pretty close on both sides. Oh boy. There is chaff there now to distract the melting points. That is clutch. Oh, but see, the melting point has the same range as these Mustangs, it look like. So the Mustangs aren't out in front of the melting point, which makes the... or in front of the fortress, which makes the fortress very vulnerable. Oh, now they are distracting that melting point. They do have armor piercing on them now. Well, as long as they're not getting barraged. Oh, they almost... Oh! Yeah, those Mustangs almost had it. But Blue doing a great job of coming back here. Barrier is chosen. Could this help at all? Would this shoot down electromagnetic barrage missiles? Just maybe one, maybe two. Going for the Rocket Fist. So as these die, when they get to 80% health and 50% health, they'll shoot their fist off of their body. And when it hits the ground, it'll do a big AoE explosion. That's a lot of fortresses. It's a lot of health, a lot of barriers, a lot of flying fists. Could make the difference. Left side does get another melting point. Level 3 amp core up top. This could be it. First barrier goes down. Second, third, fourth, fifth. There goes our first Rocket Fist. Second, third, fourth. Are they having the desired effect? Are they clearing the chaff? Oh, man. Well, I'm glad you didn't invest in Fang summoning, because it would just get shut down by this barrage. Oh. Oh. Now that still does exponential damage, so eventually it should pick up even with the stun, I think. Oh, we're gonna get another one. We're gonna get another round. Okay. So close here. So evenly matched. Photon emission for Dachshund. Deployment specialist on the right. So they can drop 3 units. They can do mass recruitment and drop 4. And they've seen what the plan is here. So they're going to go into more melting points. I would almost, yeah, I would go ground specialization wasps, I think. Do they have the money for it? Does get 4 units of wasps. It's pretty cheap. Is that going to be the difference maker? Goes for the attack enhancement. We're gonna level up these fortresses. Nah, okay. I don't know that that would make a big difference. I mean, 200% versus ground units. Nothing to sneeze at. It might be too far forward. They might end up taking... maybe that they're here to take the melting point shots. That's a lot of flying chaff to distract. Did that work? Did the gambit pay off? There's a lot less fortresses now, and it looks like the melting points are surviving. Yeah. That ought to do it. GG! Congratulations, Doxson, for winning this mini European tournament in Mechabellum. Congratulations. Thank you, Joda, for the match, and thank you all for watching. That will do it for this event.